Welcome back to the Culture Days TikTok. I've not been live on here for absolutely ages. I'm just gonna rub this on my hair first. What I'm gonna be doing today is plaiting my hair and putting aloe vera in it because it's so dry. I went to sleep yesterday without plaiting it and I regret it. But what I was gonna say was I'm gonna be answering some questions today about waist beads, about why we make waist beads, and things that you could potentially use them for. So I've got a bunch of questions to my left on my laptop. I'm just gonna go from there. So last Saturday I was in Canary Wharf at the Garden Cafe, and oh my god guys, last time I got my braids done, it pulled out the front of my hair, so I'm getting a trim for my birthday. But yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see what this gonna look like. I'll tell you what that's gonna look like I haven't been bald 4 times, and now we're off track. So, but to be fair, I just want this to be like discussion. Please don't mind the crisp of my comb in my hair, please. I really didn't want to play it last night. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning or something crazy like that. The first question says, what is cultured waist? And so cultured waist, as I would describe it, we're a waist bead company that focuses on emotional healing through empowerment. It helps you to shift your perspective on things that you've been through, things that you're going through, or things that you want to do in the future. And that's what it's all about. Unfortunately, I'm not inviting any co-hosts today because I'm talking about the company. But y'all come back when I'm doing a workshop though. I'm just gonna have to ignore them. And so this question has like thousands of answers because it depends on the woman you ask. It depends on where she comes from and how it was introduced to her. Her culture and tribe, beads are used completely differently all over the world. They're sometimes used in divination practices, like readings, trying to tell anything from the weather to the future. And then they're also obviously just used as jewelry too. And I'd say where we'll start with what waist beads are used for is I'll go off of my journey. So when I was 16, I went to Nigeria and my friend asked me to get her some waist beads. And so I asked a relative of mine, what are waist beads for? And she basically told me it was to attract your husband. So it was just a tool of seduction. And so I wasn't really that interested. They were made from wire and they did not fit me. And I was a bit upset. I was like size maybe 16 then. Even 14, yeah. But my dad used to buy my clothes in size 20. We'll tell that story why another day. But it used to make me feel really insecure. And everyone around that time started telling me to lose weight as well. But it was actually after a traumatic event, and I never pieced those two things together of when I started putting, oh no, it wasn't. Oh no, it was. Oh goodness. But yeah, it was introduced to me as something that you wear to please your counterpart. And then when I started doing my own research, specifically reading Sacred Woman by Queen Afua, she spoke about the ancient uses and practices, to be honest, and it was all about adornment. Specifically in Kemet, for like the goddesses, they would wear their beads to not even show other people that they love themselves. It was literally just about loving yourself in the first place, understanding how your body is connected to the universe and kind of using your emotions as a navigation system. And so that's why our waist beads are focused in emotional healing, because for a lot of people they're disconnected from how they feel, from the things that they really want. And that could be for a number of reasons. That could be, I was going to say sacrifice, but I feel like when sacrifice makes you, when you sacrifice something and you end up with something you don't want, then that's settling, not sacrifice. And sometimes life calls for you to settle. You don't always get to have things your way, but it is very much about just being able to say, I'm not happy about this. Do you know how funny that is? Sorry guys, I shaved my armpit but I forgot the bottom. Anyway, Too much information. I'm just laughing because Yasmin's gonna absolutely be like, what is going on here? Cool. I was talking about waist beads and self-adornment and emotional healing, and being able to maybe honoring your emotions is like a step way further down the line. The first step is just to identify them. And for a lot of us, like when I was growing up, you could ask me what's wrong and I would be so down, I would be so mad, and everyone would know because it would change the whole mood of the room. And I'll be like, I don't know. I don't know. Why are you asking me? Why? Like, I just never knew how to answer that question. And then I think through reading, through speaking to people, so working on my communication, writing, and then also things like the emotional role that they have on TikTok and things like that helped me to understand how I was feeling better. And so that once I was able to do that, like first you identify it, then you understand it, then that gives you at least a little wiggle room to do something about it. And that doesn't mean that we can change everything, because we can't. That's just the nature of life. But it does mean that you can choose how to respond to it because you understand how you feel. A lot of people do things and don't even, why did you do that, or can't weigh up the rationality of a choice because of that disconnect with their emotion. You can use them to shape your waist. I had a friend that started wearing waist beads a couple of years ago when I started, and her body over time shifted, and it wasn't because her waist beads were particularly tight, because she had elastic waist beads the same as me. I use elastic for all of my waist beads unless you specifically request that you want string. But yeah, you can use it to shape your body. You can also use it for weight management. So if you want to know if you're losing weight or gaining weight, I'll show you guys now. If I show you how bloated my belly is, my beads are gonna raise up because there's more thing. But if I suck in my stomach, they're gonna drop down. And so that's how a lot of people use them to manage their weight or changes in their weight as well, just from literally where they're hanging. And yeah, stuff like that. Not me becoming self-conscious about my body. And I was saying to myself today, like, it's been a really long time since I felt self-conscious about my body, but it was easy to just be like, well, I know why my body looks like this right now, because I wasn't doing so well, and I was actually having like another episode of my eating disorder. I don't know, I was doing well and then I wasn't for a day, and then I threw up, and now I feel a bit better. But I think that my beads defo helped me to love and embrace myself, and that's why I made myself these new beads on Valentine's. The whole thing of like, I saw Galentine's everywhere. Even the pop-up store that I did, it was a Galentine store, so it was all, other than Nigel, it was all female business owners. And then yeah, I made these there on the day, and I've never made a bead like this before, and I just wanted it has no seed beads on it. I just wanted like a chunky bead to be significantly there, if that makes sense. So I'm gonna stand up 1 second. So we got this one with the seed beads on, and then I'll put like these beads in the middle. But this one is just completely like charms and bigger beads. And so that's what I was saying about, like, look at me sucking in my stomach for dear life. When I feel subconscious about my belly, I like to look at it and just be like, my belly is so much more than what it looks like. How does it feel? I didn't mention being bloated, so it doesn't feel that great, but at least I'm being honest about how it feels so I can do stuff about it. So I had a juice this morning. It was carrot, ginger, turmeric, and apple. And yeah, so are your waist beads size inclusive? Yes, they are. We make all of our waist beads 1 meter long. I have like, I'm gonna give you guys a sneak peek of our new collection. We got some zodiac waist beads coming. So let's see how well I know my zodiac. Of course I know Pisces because it's Pisces season and I'm a Pisces and we're just the best ever. So the colour for Pisces was like seafoam green or something. I don't think I actually had seafoam green, so I went for a sea colour and then I used green on the additions. You know, you have to be creative and use what you have. Then we have, that's not Libra. Guys, I don't know the rest of the signs. Oh, but I can find them. It's not that hard. One sec. Zodiac. No. Isn't it here? Yes. So then we have, this is the thing. Oh, you can't even see it. But this is what I use to use the colors for the Zodiac collection. Again, I've only made 6 of them, but we have, I was right, this is Libra, but I don't know why I was looking for scales. So Libra is pink. I think this is Taurus. Yeah, it is. And Taurus is green. So this is the Taurus bead. And then we have the one that looks like Pisces, Gemini. I didn't even deep how similar the Pisces and Gemini thingy is. It's just that one has one in the middle, one has 2. But the Gemini color is yellow. So this is our Gemini bead. And then the next one is orange and it is for Leo. So this is our Leo bead. I don't even feel like I'm showing you guys these beads properly. I'm so sorry. And then the final one that I've made so far is black, and that is Scorpio. And I'm Scorpio rising, so probably gonna end up with a little seafoam green and black combo at some point. I just got one of my favorite, the bats on there. But yes, I actually picked up these beads to show you that we make them all in 1 meter, and so you can wrap it around either once, or if it goes around more than once. But like I said, 60 inches is enough for anyone to wear waist beads, and that was the whole point. Because like I said, when I started making them, everyone was body shaming me, and I was only 16, and I was like you guys need to get off my ass. So I started talking online about body confidence, and here we are. Nobody can tell me nothing except myself. So yeah, so I can actually use some of the beads that I was showing you guys as an example. We have the actual seed beads themselves are glass. Then some of them are acrylic. For example, I'll show you some that are not black so you can see them properly. And these ones as well, like the letters, the numbers, most of them are acrylic, I'll be honest. And then we have some that are like flowers, different icons. They're acrylic. Acrylic. I'm trying to stop using so much plastic, honestly, but a lot of beads are plastic. But we do also have clay beads, and so the bat that I just showed you guys is made out of clay. Oh, I'm like, where'd the bat go? I think this is acrylic too though, so it doesn't actually show what I've just showed about the clay beads. But yeah, it's these, they're like these flowers, and then they got colors in the middle. But I have some clay beads on me now, and I just started using these round ones. I'm gonna have to take this off. No, I made one. It's in the bag. Okay guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm back with my goodie bag of beads. And so this is the bead. This is like the one I made after I made my own one. So there's only one of these. There's only one of all of them, to be fair. But these are clay as well. And then I've got quite a few clay beads in my collection, to be fair, but those are the materials. So we had glass, acrylic, clay. I think that's it. But we also can do wooden beads as well. Like I've done some beads with them. So the crystals that we used are semi-precious. So a lot of them are replicated. They're just a little bit more expensive. So we're like, the new beads, the new crystal beads that will come on will be $17.99. But I'm trying to find one of the past ones. Here I go. Here I go. This is a tiger's eye waist bead. and these are semi-precious, and so these would more be around the price of a classic waist bead or a flag waist bead, so either $9.99 or $12.99, but we will see. But yeah, I'm literally finding sources of genuine crystals now. The only thing is that they're so big, but then because I'm like slowly, like, I forgot that I'm not the only person gonna wear the beads. And I've always for years stuck to these like thinner bead structures. So when I see crystals that are like that big, I'm like, how am I gonna put it on a waist bead? But somebody will wear it, and even if they don't wear it, well, we'll get into the rest of the questions before I go into that. So we did what materials. Are your waist beads water or fireproof? So yes, our waist beads are waterproof. Or you can wear them in the pool, you can wear them in the bath, you can wear them in water. In terms of fireproof, the elastic is flammable, as with most beading elastics, as with most stringing materials, is what I was trying to say. And then the other thing that I learned is when I use my hot water bottle repeatedly on my waist beads, it weakens the elastic. So there's been times before where I've put my hot water bottle on, and then because the elastic's been weakening over time and I did not know, the whole bead has just bust. And I'm like, what? Huh? What's going on? But it was like by the third time that happened, which 3 times in 6 years is not bad, but I only started using hot water bottle really like last year. Yeah, it will burst your elastic, so just be careful how close you put it to your stomach. I would show you guys now, but my hot water bottle yesterday just popped a hole and hot water started going everywhere. It was a mess. But if I'm gonna put my hot water bottle like in my belly area, I'll either move my beads up to like here, I'll move them down below my waist. Look, you guys can see the line of where they were, but that is what I would do. Yeah, I'm actually gonna take you guys over. I hope that it's not too dark. Should be alright, to be fair. Well, a lot of them are in here. So there's like most of the seed beads, some big gems, and then all are like, what do I even call these? Because they're not actually charms. They don't hang down. They're just addition. And then we have, what I was actually trying to show you guys is this thing over here. So in here we have zodiac signs, letters, numbers, then we've got some other stuff as well. It's actually really dark here. This is terrible, but I just wanted to show you guys some of the range of what we've got. There are some more beads in here. These are emojis, so like smiley faces. There's some not smiley faces in there as well. These are like sports balls, so we've got football, not crazy eights, pool, rugby, tennis ball. There's loads of stuff in there. We've got the evil eye beads in here, so that was an accident. But these, and then in the last one, I feel like we had flowers and they all fell out. We have flowers and they're not all falling out. But I'm gonna take you back to where we're supposed to be right now. And I know I dropped a bead, but it's gone. In this business, you have to be prepared to lose many beads and head on the floor all the time. That was my impression of beads dropping on the floor, by the way. I digress. We took a break to answer if I offer custom waist beads, and yes, I do. I also offer a before I stop, we have a menu on, not on Temu, on Pinterest. We have a menu on Pinterest where you can see all of the beads that we have available and all of the colors, and so you can choose your custom out of that, or you can show us an example of a bead that you want us to recreate, or you can show us beads that you like from online or something. Now, the other thing I was going to say is if you have a waist bead that you've had already and it broke, because the thing with a lot of traditional waist beads is that they're made on string material, one, and two, they're put on so that you don't take them off. And so if you want to repurpose your bead, so put it on elastic, or add a clasp or repair a broken bead, we also offer that service, and you can book it via our WhatsApp business page, or I think you can book it on Etsy as well. So that's customs and reviews. I need a tea break, but the next question is gonna be, do waist beads have healing properties? And this is where we get into the juice, because I was speaking about the uses earlier, and I think I only spoke about self-adornment and like emotional connection, seduction, aphrodisiac, and like weight management or waist shaping. There's still so many more than that to be story. So I've bunched them up to make a bracelet, or I've used them as a headband before. You can wear them as a belt, all of these things. But in terms of if they have healing properties of it, so it's about what they mean to you. Every person who orders a waist bead with me gets a little card that looks like this. And so on one side it says cultured waist, be confident, be beautiful, be cultured. And then on the other side it says my waist bead affirmation. And here is where you get to write down what it means to you, because all of us are on this journey of improving ourselves, personal development, wanting to be the best version of ourselves and better than yesterday. But I can't tell you who you need to be, because you know who you were yesterday. My challenges are going to be different to yours, as well as my strengths are going to be different to yours. And so the whole point of waist beads is about embracing our individuality and our uniqueness, and knowing that that is more than okay. That is more than possible, even, that we can be different. You don't have to fit in. You don't have to feel like strange for being out of the... If you want them to help you heal. Because I have beads that I've made just because they're pretty. And then I've had beads that I've made because there's a specific area within myself that I want to grow. For example, it could be in confidence. It could be in saying no. It could be in, setting boundaries. It could be in anything. And so I'll make a waist bead that represents that for me, and that helps me to heal, because not only can I look at it and remember why I put it on my waist, it's like in a moment's time, let's say I'm in a meeting, I can literally, y'all gonna see me fiddling with my waist beads if I'm like uncomfortable, if I feel like I'm I don't know, it's just a habit. But it is a confidence thing, because it's around my stomach area, which is where your solar plexus is, which is where confidence comes from. So yes, they do, but the healing power is actually within you. The waist beads is just a tool that you can channel that energy into, just like you might have a special toy or a special blanket. Well, that's normally children that have that, but me too, I have my toys and my blanket. My blanket is next door, and all my teddy bears are but that's just me. So I'm gonna say no to the guarantee, because again, it's on you to understand yourself. And so I'll give you guys an example. There's been times where my waist bead is broken, and I know, sorry, that's lemon tea, by the way, so it's just working my digestive system. Anyway, I'm really embarrassed. Okay. Does it guarantee healing? Again, the responsibility is on you. And I was talking about when my waist beads have broken in the past, and I know that it's because I don't even know how to describe what I wasn't. I would say I wasn't myself, in the sense of I was rushing. I wasn't balanced. That's the answer. Because I was rushing and I was overwhelmed, and I didn't really see that. And so for me to just snap my waist beads, it kind of shows me, oh, Ebony, maybe take a second to meditate. Maybe take a second. It's like a tool to help